Welcome to Mystery Stories for Sleep, where the unknown meets the mysterious. Relax, unwind, and let the intrigue carry you into the night. Your journey into the strange begins now.
Okay, so it's Halloween, and you know what that means.
Haunted houses, trick-or-treating, and enough fake cobwebs to cover a pyramid.
You got it.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the real star of the spooky season. Mummies. Seriously, you can't walk down the street this time of year without practically tripping over one.
It's true, they're everywhere. But I kind of love it. There's just something so captivating about those bandaged figures, you know?
Totally. But it makes you wonder, why mummies? Of all the creepy crawlies out there, what is it about these ancient Egyptian figures that still gives us the chills?
Right, it's not like they're out chasing people down the street wrapped in toilet paper.
Exactly. So in this deep dive, we're unwrapping the mummy's curse. Is it real? Yeah. Is it all Hollywood hype? We're digging into the history, the myths, and maybe even a few modern-day encounters that'll make you sleep with the lights on.
And trust me, we've got a lot to unpack. Ancient Egyptian beliefs, the media frenzy around King Tut's tomb, even some creepy tales about cursed artifacts.
Oh, I am so ready for this.
Yeah.
But let's back up a bit. When we say mummy's curse, what's the first image that pops into your head?
Okay, I'm picturing a vengeful spirit rising from its sarcophagus, all bandaged up and ready for revenge. You know, the classics.
Right, that old disturb my tomb and I'll haunt you for eternity vibe. It's like horror movie 101.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. That wasn't exactly the ancient Egyptian style.
Yeah, that's Hollywood taking some creative liberties. The real deal with mummies and ancient Egypt is actually way more interesting.
Okay, spill the tea. What was the real deal with mummification? It wasn't all about curses and spooky stuff.
Not even close. It all comes down to their belief in the afterlife, which was a pretty big deal for them. They believed that for your soul to continue on, you needed your physical body.
Makes sense. You can't exactly take your earthly possessions with you to the afterlife.
Exactly. And a well-preserved body was like your ticket to a smooth transition to the afterlife. That's where mummification comes in. It was all about preserving the body as best they could, making it last.
So it's less about scaring grave robbers and more about afterlife insurance.
Basically, it was seen as an essential part of their whole spiritual journey. Now, those inscriptions on the tombs that people often translate as curses, they were more like Christern warnings.
Like a keep out sign for the afterlife.
Pretty much. They emphasized the sacredness of the tomb, the respect that was due to the deceased. Disturbing the dead was a serious no-no.
Got it. So if the Egyptians weren't trying to put a hex on anyone, how did this whole idea of a mummy's curse become such a big deal?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. We're talking early 20th century and the discovery that really put the mummy's curse on the map. King Tut's tomb in 1922.
Ah, King Tut. That was huge, right? Wasn't that like the archaeological discovery of its time?
Oh, absolutely. It was front page news everywhere. And then a few years later, some of the people involved in the excavation started dying under mysterious circumstances.
Oh no, I bet that's all it took to get the rumor mill going.
You know it. The media went wild with stories of a pharaoh's curse. Even though many of these deaths were later explained by, things like infected mosquito bites, the seed of doubt had been planted.
So it's the perfect recipe for a good mystery. An ancient tomb, a few untimely deaths, and a whole lot of speculation.
Exactly. And don't forget, this is the 1920s. The world was still recovering from World War I. There was a lot of anxiety and uncertainty in the air.
People were probably primed to believe in something extraordinary, something beyond the everyday horrors they had already witnessed.
For sure. And once that connection between King Tut's tomb and these unfortunate events was made, it was off to the races. The curse became a sensation.
And I'm guessing this is where Hollywood saw an opportunity. After all, nothing spices up a story like a good curse, right? It's like someone saw ancient curse trending and thought, movie idea.
You know it. And in 1932, they did just that. The Mummy hits the big screen, starring Boris Karloff, and the rest is history.
Oh man, Boris Karloff. Talk about an image that's burned into your brain, those eyes, that stiff walk. So creepy, but also kind of awesome, right?
Totally. What's interesting is how that movie and all the ones that came after, they took those real anxieties people had about curses, about ancient Egypt, and they gave it a face.
So it's not just a faceless monster anymore. It's Imhotep. He's got this whole backstory, this tragic love story, which makes it even more, compelling.
Yeah, it adds this human element, this what-if factor. Like, what if these mummies weren't just mindless monsters? What if they had feelings, motivations, even if those motivations were a tad extreme.
Right, and it plays on that fear we all have that maybe, just maybe, the past isn't as dead and buried as we like to think.
100%. That's something ancient could wake up, you know? And let's be real, ancient Egypt has always had this mysterious aura. The pyramids alone are like, whoa, how did they do that?
Seriously, the Egyptians were so advanced for their time. It's both fascinating and a little intimidating, you know? Like, what else did they know?
Right. What secrets did they uncover? And that's what makes the curse so compelling. It's that thought of, did they know something we don't?
And did we mess up by finding out? It's like peeking into a dusty old book, you know, you shouldn't read.
Exactly. The allure of the forbidden. But here's the thing that makes the mummy's curse different from, say, vampires or werewolves.
Let me guess, it's a real place, unlike Transylvania.
Close. It's about real people. Those mummies, they weren't mythical beings. They were people who lived, breathed, had families. It's like this weird blurring of life and death that makes it hit differently.
Okay, that is kind of freaky. And it gets even freakier because sometimes those lines between the past and present, they feel way too blurry.
Oh, tell me about it. There are stories, modern day accounts of people who've had encounters with mummies, with Egyptian artifacts, and let's just say, not all of them are pleasant.
Wait, are we talking about dusty museum exhibits coming to life or something even weirder?
Okay, imagine this. You get a gift. It's a mummified hand. Yeah, you heard that right.
Hard pass. I'd rather have the fruit basket. So who's setting this unique gift?
Well, this actually happened to a guy named Sir Bruce Ingham. Not sure who gave him the hand, but shortly after he gets it, his house burns down.
Okay, that's not great, but hey, house fires happen, right? Wrong time of year for a fireplace, maybe?
Yeah, except he rebuilds the house, and then guess what? It burns down again.
Whoa. Okay, that's taking it to another level. I mean, come on, 2 house fires. That's when you start thinking maybe that hand wasn't such a great souvenir.
Right. It makes you wonder, are these just crazy coincidences? Or is there something more to it? Something we don't understand about these objects, the energy they might hold?
It's like our fascination with the curse, the possibility that it might be real, makes us hyper-aware of anything even remotely spooky that happens.
Totally. Our minds make those connections, even if they're not really there. But then again, what if they are? It's that what if that keeps us coming back for more.
So even if we never really know for sure if it's real, the mummy's curse still gets under our skin, makes us think about our place in the world.
It's like this ancient game of telephone passed down through centuries. And with each telling, it evolves, reflects our fears, our hopes, our fascination with what lies beyond.
And let's be honest, Halloween wouldn't be the same without it.
Yeah.
I mean, mummies are everywhere this time of year.
Right.
I mean, come on, it's not Halloween without a good mummy decoration, am I right?
You're telling me, but why mummies? You know, what is it about them that makes them such perfect Halloween icons?
Well, Halloween is all about facing our fears, having a little fun with the spooky side of life. And I guess mummies, they just check all those boxes, don't they?
Totally. They're ancient, mysterious, and let's be honest, a little bit creepy. Plus, there's that whole back from the dead thing that just screams Halloween.
It's true. And you can't deny the influence of those classic mummy movies. They're so iconic, even if they are a little cheesy sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. That stiff walk, the muffled groans. They're almost more funny than they are scary. Almost.
Okay, but they still kind of freak me out.
Yeah.
So after all this, where do we land on the mummy's curse? Real or a load of bandages?
Honestly, I think it's a bit of both. Like, yeah, the ancient Egyptians weren't out to curse everyone who stumbled into their tombs. But those warnings, the way they went about preserving the body.
It's definitely wanted to make sure nobody messed with their afterlife plans.
Exactly. And I think that's what resonates with us, this idea that some things are sacred, that there are consequences for disrespecting the past.
And those consequences, they don't always have to be supernatural to be scary. Just think about what we've uncovered in our own lifetimes. Climate change, ancient viruses thawing out. Sometimes it feels like the past is sending us a message.
Right. It's like this deep-seated fear that maybe we've gone too far, messed with things we don't fully understand.
And maybe those ancient stories, even the scary ones, they're here to remind us to tread carefully, to respect what came before.
100%. It's about that balance, right, between curiosity and caution. We want to uncover the mysteries of the past, but we also have to be prepared for what we might find.
It's a good thing to keep in mind, especially this time of year. So this Halloween, when you see those mummy decorations or catch a scary movie marathon, remember there's more to those bandaged figures than meets the eye. It's a story about history, about belief, about the enduring power of the past.
And hey, even if it's all just a bunch of hocus pocus, it makes for one heck of a good story. Happy Halloween, everyone!
Happy Halloween.